and gentlemen, I am Vimal Watlu, former chairman and managing director of TCIL and the board director of Public Police NGO. I welcome you all to today's event.
अब आ गया.
We at Public Police NGO have been holding webinar series on topics of immediate concern to the general public for quite some time. In the past, we have had a number of webinars like how safe and secure are our deposits in our banks? Is it feasible to have CCTV systems in the police stations? Effective implementation of human rights in India, role of telemedicine in mitigating the COVID challenges, are the under trials in India getting true justice, handling challenges posed by misleading advertisements. We had a number of series on that, uniform civil code, reinstating women's empowerment through strong values, navigating golden years, senior citizens, social security, challenges and solutions, part 1, 2, and 3. Uh, and from Indian Penal Code to Bharat Nyay Samhita, evaluating the revamp of Indian criminal justice system, bridging the gap, community policing for a safer society, India's real estate odyssey, navigating the twists and turns of property transactions, safe and sound, exploring bank deposit security in India. So today, all these webinars have been uploaded on our Public Police NGO channel on the YouTube. Today, the subject of our discussion in this series is the AI effect, navigating the impact of artificial intelligence in our lives. Well, ladies and gentlemen, artificial intelligence is impacting every aspect of our lives, and this is going to increase more and more in the coming days and years. AI is transforming various sectors by enhancing efficiency, accuracy, and decision making. The first, the positives. Coming to health sector, AI has played a major role in diagnostics of patients, predictive analysis, virtual assistants, and personalized medicines. In the domain of education, it has helped in skill development, personalized learning, intelligent tutoring systems, automated grading, enhanced accessibility. In agriculture too, precision farming, crop monitoring, automated farming, weather forecasting, etc. In the governance front, public service delivery, data-driven decision-making, predictive analysis, transparency and accountability, and so on. But there are a few more things which are important from governance perspective. That's disaster response, cybersecurity, and Kumbh Mela. AI has been deployed in various ways to enhance the experience and safety of devotees at the Kumbh Mela in Prayagraj. Facial recognition technology for identifying individuals and tracking potential threats, making it easier for authorities to manage crowds and prevent accidents. Crowd density monitoring to prevent stampedes and ensure a smooth experience for devotees. Digital attendance system for the Mela employees. Surveillance for thousands of CCTV cameras, drones equipped with AI-powered surveillance systems. Healthcare, AI-powered healthcare systems such as Bhishma Cube has been deployed over there. Navigation information for a dedicated mobile app providing real-time updates on crowd density, emergency alerts, directions, and accommodation details. These AI-powered initiatives have significantly enhanced the overall experience and safety of devotees at Kumbh Mela in Prayagraj, but then there have been challenges as well, as we have heard in the news too, as a fortnight back. Now, coming to the challenges posed by the AI itself, they can be significant and varied, and job displacement and economic inequality, social and emotional challenges, ethical and moral concerns, because there is bias and discrimination sometimes in the algorithms, lack of transparency and accountability, privacy and security concerns, data privacy, educational and skill challenges, need for new skills, and of course, the most important, environmental challenges, because there's a huge energy consumption and e-waste generation because of AI. In the recently concluded AI summit in Paris, our Prime Minister in his presentation tried to emphasize on regulation and sustainability of AI. While some countries agreed with that, but then some of the most advanced countries like US and UK were not game for it. So today, in order to get enlightened on the subject, we are privileged to have a number of panelists. We have Dr. Vikram Singh, former Director General, Uttar Pradesh, Chancellor of Noida International University, and founder trustee of Public Police NGO. Professor Bijon Mishra, international consumer policy expert, who is a popular face on the media and needs no introduction. Dr. Ashwani Dadaich, director, he's the founding director of this Reliance Geo School of Law, and Sri R.K. Singh, former engineer-in-chief, Doordarshan, and AI expert, teaching the subject at a number of universities. To make the webinar more interactive, I would request the participants to pose their questions in the chat box so that they find their answers during the course of the webinar. As a normal practice, it's our chairman, Justice Balakrishnan, who normally gives his opening remarks, but he's not well, as just mentioned by Mr. Maheshwari. So I'll request Mr. Devdutt, the secretary of Public Police NGO, to give his thoughts on the subject briefly.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, I would like to wish Happy Valentine's Day to everyone. And on this auspicious occasion, I am just making a secret that just now, with the efforts of Mr. P.K. Malhotra, we have been successful to request Justice Adarsh Kumar Goyal, former Supreme Court judge, and who had been the chairman of NGT, to become the member of Public Police. And he will be attending our meeting, board meeting, on 21st of February at Civil Services Officers Institute in this month. So it is a great news that some very senior judge is joining us. So let us celebrate this today. And today's topic is very interesting. As you all know, that our Prime Minister has gone to France, and in Paris, AI Summit was there, and he made a dent in that summit. And also, today is a period of artificial intelligence. As you know, that artificial intelligence is going to affect in all spheres of life, maybe our general life, or maybe the working of the government or the private, or it will be used very well in war and in army, in police, everywhere it will be there. So next 5 years is going to be
Devdutt, we have lost you.
Hello?
Yeah. Actually,
hello?
Yeah. Please speak. Let's try again. Yeah. Continue. Yeah. In between, we had lost connectivity. Please continue.
Yeah. So today we have got eminent panelists, and all panelists are from different fields. And I would request Dr. Vikram, who is the and he had a vast experience of not only policing, but of education and of various fields. So I will request Dr. Vikram Singh to start. And because he is an expert of Kumbh Mela also, I know that Mr. Vikram Singh has dealt Kumbh Mela in a beautiful and in a wonderful manner. Uh, and there was absolutely no incidents. There was no AI, there was no CCTV cameras there. So he is a person who has managed the Kumbh Mela in such a beautiful
We
position that
cannot
there
hear,
was
sir.
absolutely no incidents.
Actually,
So,
Devdatji, your speech is getting distorted.
yeah,
We'll rejoin later. We'll get started in the meantime. Thank you very much.
thank you.
So I'll request Sri Vikram Singh ji to Dr. Vikram Singh to start his presentation. Actually, because as was pointed out by Mr. Devdutt, the Kumbh has been a major event, and there have been challenges, and despite AI, a stampede also. So can we say that AI is more a hype and less utility when it comes to governance of such events? Dr. Vikram Singh.
Namaskar, sir. Namaskar, Mr. Waklu, sir. Namaskar, Mr. Devdutt. Ladies and gentlemen, AI, like air, impacts all of us in different manner. And like any technology, it is as good as the person who is trained to use it. I would say that the AI in itself is an excellent and a very wonderful force multiplier, but it has negative and positive connotations. It has impacted us in so many manners. And to begin with, as a force multiplier, it has been of great assistance as a smart assistant, as e-governance enhancement, e-commerce enhancement, autonomous vehicles, educational tools, financial insights, AI in healthcare and whatnot. But since the specific topic of the Kumbh Mela has been raised, I would say that you have raised a pertinent question, and it is such a dormant and with possibilities. AI intelligence has to be doubled up with natural intelligence, and without the synergy of natural intelligence and artificial intelligence, I think we'll be quoting the recipe of a disaster. Mr. Devdutt very rightly mentioned that to have the robust common sense and intelligence will steer you through many such situations. And to use tools like AI-enabled facial recognition software, predictive policing, crowd management, contingency plans, and how to implement the contingency plans. But I have to have the wherewithal, also the wiring of my mind and my training also to use these tools effectively. The futuristic technologies that we have got, like in healthcare, we do have robotic surgery. How many doctors and surgeons are there who are capable and competent to do and conduct robotic surgeries? As I guess, not even 0.5%. Therefore, it is good to have a technology that we are robust with, rather than to have a technology which is futuristic, but we do not know the Greek and Latin of it, we do not know the rudiments of the technology. Now, we come to the Kumbh Mela. We had the technology, we had the wherewithal, but I have absolutely no hesitation that on the Amrit Snan, we were overwhelmed by the crowds and nothing came to our rescue. In fact, that was the time when we should have rehearsed our act together. I take you to China. When China said, what oil is to Saudi Arabia, artificial intelligence is to us. I would say I have no hesitation in saying that China is at least a generation ahead of us as far as AI and implementation is concerned. There's no point in living in the fool's paradise and saying that we are second to none. As of now, we have miles to go before we sleep, because China, what they have developed in robotic surgery is one thing, but the way they have developed robo-cops, robo-policemen, they are all proof they are capable of using non-lethal alternatives, and they are fail-proof and fool-proof. Therefore, I would say, giving you a small example, then we're coming to the criminality aspect. The criminality aspect is, and which also has a bearing on the Kumbh, the echo chambers, the fake news, and the repetition of deepfake news. A fire happening in Syria that is doubled up with visual interpretations and giving you the impression that it is a part of a Kumbh fire. That is where the danger arises. How do we distinguish that? How do we react if AI is not able to give us and improve our response time? and actually work as a force multiplier in education. It gives an enhancement, and do not allow plagiarism to happen. And I will stop at that. AI is a multifaceted instrument. It has many positives, but the few negatives like job displacement, plagiarism, and then it makes our students infirm if they were to depend totally on chat GPT and artificial intelligence tools to write their projects and their essays. It is where the problem arises, that do we have the system and wherewithal to check this plagiarism and this over dependence on AI. Mr. Waklu, thank you very much. We will go into the question answer lesson later. But yes, it is a blessing, but this blessing had better be without a disguise. As of now, there's multiple disguises, and we have to go beyond those disguises. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You have rightly pointed out, we are a generation behind China when it comes to AI. They are ahead of us. There's no doubt about it. Now I come to Professor Bejon Mishra. Please give your opinion from the consumer perspective.
Thank you. Thank you very much. 1 minute. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much, Vimalji and Deodatji and all the members of the Public Police NGO and all my friends who have joined in. Good afternoon. Namaskar, sabko. You know, as a consumer perspective, I look at any technology or any product or service which comes into the marketplace to be very trustworthy, because what we all as consumers always believed is that before anything becomes commercial, it would have been gone through several tests, and there would be regulations to regulate, to ensure that the criminals are not working, and to ensure that we are protected in terms of safety, in terms of credible information, in terms of making an informed choice, in terms of getting better value for money. So we as consumers always firmly believe that there has to be a lot of transparency and accountability in the processes and systems, which will allow us to seek that value for money. And I recall those days when I used to sit with the trade union leaders in Delhi, when there used to be a fight where the trade union leaders used to raise issues against computerization in the banking system. And I still recall how we vehemently tried to convince them that how technology is an enabler to the consumer in terms of improving service and getting a value for money. And when we computerized, I still recall very fondly, and this is what I want to share with you all in terms of people talking about hype. The same trade union leaders started complaining in the meetings where I used to be invited that हम कंप्यूटर मांग रहे हैं, हमको नहीं दे रहे हैं लोग, हम चाह रहे हैं कंप्यूटर हमको दें, वो लोग नहीं दे रहे हैं, आसान हो गया है लाइफ कंप्यूटर से। वो उसी ट्रेड यूनियन लीडर जो उसको विरोध कर रहे थे वो कंप्यूटर मांगने लगे। So it is always the voice of the end user which matters. We always forget that consumer who pays for everything which is moving. कोई भी चीज जो हो रहा है आज हमारे देश में या विश्व भर में, वो इसलिए हो पा रहा है क्योंकि कंज्यूमर या टैक्स पेयर मुस्कुराते हुए वो पैसे दे रहे हैं तंत्र को चलाने के लिए. And we have to appreciate that. And while saying that, you know, AI should not become an hype. AI should not be made into a kind of a fear. What I want to tell you all today is technology is always an enabler, a good friend. Why? Because it brings in competition. It brings in choice to the consumer. It empowers the consumers to make an informed choice. And when you talk about innovation, there can be no innovation if you are not capturing the feedback of the consumer in terms of the existing products and services. If you don't take the feedback of the consumers in an honest manner seriously, you can never reach out in terms of innovation. We all know that India is today looked at by the world, not only India, as the talent pool in terms of technology enhancement. We have so many talented, skilled people in our country, that the whole world looks at India as the provider of talented youngsters who can work in their country and take their country to the next level. Let me tell you, it's a hype again. And I don't want to mention the name of my neighboring countries, which was mentioned. They might be ahead of us, but we are much ahead of them, let me tell you. We are much ahead of them. Because nobody looks at that country so seriously as they look at India today. They believe India, they believe Indians, they believe the Indian leadership. And we all heard in the last 1 week, what our leader said to the global world. And I must tell you here that, you see, when we look at technology, when we look at AI, the most important aspect is our Honorable Prime Minister stands firmly on AI regulation emphasis and the need for a pro-innovation approach that unlocks AI's full potential while addressing anticipated risks. He has advocated for ethical AI, highlighting the importance of mutual trust in the development and deployment of AI technology. Friends, there are a number of issues which we can get advantage out of AI. And as the time is very short, I would not like to elaborate too much, but what I would like to elaborate is what is that the Indian government is trying to do. I want to help you all to understand that. We all have heard that the Indian mission is backed by a funding over 10,300 crores allocated over 5 years. And the mission will be implemented by India AI, an independent business division under the Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology. It is MeitY, Digital India Corporation. And friends, India's AI mission is expected to drive growth, innovation, and societal benefits across various sectors, which our friend Mr. Waklu covered in his opening remarks, including healthcare, agriculture, manufacturing, and services. As a consumer perspective, I always feel that any product or service which is made available to the citizens in the country not only should be made accessible, but also to be made affordable. And that is very important because we don't want freebies. We just now heard from the Honorable Supreme Court how they have reprimanded in terms of freebies being openly being given, which is not required. And if we want to be the technology providers for tomorrow, not only for India, but for the world, we all must be ready to get a good value for money for the consumers. Friends, thank you very much for inviting me and giving me this opportunity. I would definitely like to take questions from the chat box, whichever is addressed to me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Bijon Mishra. As you rightly said, yes, China is ahead of us in AI, but as brand equity, India is many generations ahead of them. People trust us more.
Yes,
I totally agree.
Hello. Hello. I'm giving my congratulations to Bijon Mishra ji. He is our intellectual asset. I am speaking from Rajkot, Gujarat. I am a former member of Parliament Lok Sabha.
Thank you very much.
Sir. Thank you very much.
Bhavani ji, thank you very much. I also want to recognize Veena ji, my board member who has joined. Veena ji, namaskar.
Namaskar.
Thank you. Best wishes to everybody. Best wishes to everybody.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now I'll request Professor Ashwini Dadaich for his opening remarks, particularly with reference to the legal implications. Thank you. Yes, Professor.
Thank you, Vimalji. First of all, thanks everyone for inviting me, and let me reintroduce myself in a more appropriate manner. My name is Avinash. I am Professor Avinash Dadich. I am the founding director of Dhirubhai Ambani University School of Law in Gandhinagar. So when I was invited for this webinar, I think this is the perfect time to talk about AI because in last 10 days, especially last 10 to 15 days, we have seen very big changes. So I will start with few changes. The first one, uh, last week, Google changed its AI ethical policy. In 2018, Google introduced its AI ethical policy, and they said that we will not create any AI technology which will violate human rights or mass surveillance or anything which will harm people or international law. So they were committed to design and implement ethical AI. But last week they changed it. They said, no, no, sorry, now we cannot continue like this. Geopolitical situations have been changed, and now it will be more market driven. So that's a huge change, you know. A very big company changed their AI ethical policy drastically. Then a lot of things happened in China, as you know, the deep seek and other, you know, emerging technology which came, and they really shocked the, I think, entire $1 trillion valuation wiped out in the US tech market. Okay, it's like a classical war where the US companies lost $1 trillion within few days. Then the reaction came from Europe. Initially, they were not very keen to enter into this AI race, like so-called AI race. But then they decided to enter, and now they have committed to put 200 billion euro for AI development. And the US also has committed to invest 500 billion euro. My dear friends, we are talking about here billions. When I say 500 billion, 200 billion, and then if I say the Indian government's commitment, it's a 10,000 crore rupees, which comes around 1 billion. We don't know the budget of China right now. So, but there is clear there are three camps existing at the global level right now. The first one is the US, which talks about innovation. And initially, Biden government introduced some executive order to regulate AI, but the Trump, he decided to get away from that executive order on AI ethics. Okay, so now in English we can clearly say that it's a gloves are out. I think the people in the intelligence services or the defense, they know, they understand this term. Gloves are out. Okay, we don't want ethical AI. We don't want regulation, because if one Chinese company can really destroy $1 trillion value within 1 week, guys, try to understand $1 trillion value destroyed in 1 week. This cannot be. I don't think that you can have any war like this. So gloves are out from the US side that okay, no ethics, no regulation. We are in the race. $500 billion invested. Europe also decided that EU Act is in application, but at the same time, they have also decided that we will develop AI technology, $200 billion, and very soon you will see the implications of this particular thing, that EU will be less concerned about ethics of AI. China, definitely we all know that China is a state controlled economy. For them, AI is not only a technology, but it's a geopolitical tool. Okay, geopolitical tool to make their influence at the global level. At the same time, it's a tool to regulate and maintain their party's dominance within the Chinese economy and Chinese society. Okay, so for China, AI is something else. Now come back to India, what we are doing. In 2017, we come up with a very beautiful document by the Niti Aayog, Indian AI strategy document, 2017. Guys, when I say 5-6 years, please understand things are changing every week. So year means maybe centuries in AI. 2017 document, if you examine, really the Niti Aayog worked very nicely. They come up with a nice strategy how we are going to have strong AI for India, but unfortunately we missed it. Okay, this is in the forum of intellectuals, so we must appreciate the good things by the government, but at the same time we should also come forward few things which we missed. So post 2017 till 2024, in last 7 years, I think we didn't invest seriously on AI development. And now this money, 10,000 crore, I think we need to appreciate. It's nothing in 1 billion versus 200 billion versus 500 billion versus Chinese amount nobody knows. It can be maybe $1 trillion. Okay. So I think that I think you're all senior people. Please convey this message to the people in ministries. And I will end here by saying one thing. Understanding AI is just like elephant in the dark room. Nobody knows. Okay, you haven't seen elephant in your life. Now you are in a dark room with an elephant and everybody's trying to see, because generative AI is one thing which everybody's talking about, but what is about the agent AI? I think that will be the big change. That once you see the impact of AI agents, I don't have time here, so I can't explain you what is AI agent, but please try to read about the AI agent. There is the possibility where India, with limited budget and resources, can do wonders, because AI agent doesn't require huge amount of investment. This can be done with few thousands crore rupees. So I think regulation, forget regulation. Nobody's trying to do regulation. It's all good things at the top level. Nobody's trying to regulate AI. If you see the recent document issued by Mighty, where they ask people to submit their suggestion and comments on the AI policy in India, I think it happened last month only. If you read that document, it's very clearly we are not serious about AI regulation, and that's right, because no one is going to do it. Now, US, EU, China, and why we should regulate? So it will be very soft hand on AI regulation. It's a war. It's like in a war-like situation. And I think India should take the lead by AI agent and more understanding what is happening at the global market. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Avinash Dadaich. I'm so sorry for misspelling your name. Yeah, sorry. So, as you have rightly pointed out, maybe we need more funds at the country level to take this AI mission forward. But it's always good to make a beginning that we have done now. Now, I'll request Sri R.K. Singh about, because he is into education domain and he teaches AI. So I'll request him for his opening remarks, particularly from education perspective.
Thank you, Mr. Waglu, for giving me the opportunity. And I can see this panel is so big, so rich, that I don't consider myself. Mr. Just now, he has given Mr. His name. I'm not getting.
Professor Dadaich.
Yeah, the lines. He has given the figures very well.
Okay, let me correct again. Dadichi was a rishi.
Dadichi, sorry.
And we are the ancestors of Rishi Dadichi.
Yeah.
Dadichi.
And we call them
sorry.
Dadich.
Dadich.
We like the first name. We like the first.
Right.
Dadich.
So,
Yeah, sorry.
in fact, I will also start for the last 2 days. I also heard all the big people in that French meeting. Not only once, in fact, I had got the link also. I heard and watched 2 times each. That is our Prime Minister, then Vice President of US, then President of European Union, and finally our Mr. Pichai. I tell you, I found so much difference of opinion, particularly between Vice President. In the beginning, he appeared to be so, lighter way when he started that he has come to enjoy the wine of the French wine. But anyway, when he said all those things, it was very clear that US is not agreeing and they are not signing this thing. At the same time, French European president, she was also telling them that no, we have come with 50 billion and now it is going to be 200 and like that, US Vice President was also telling that they have spent about 700, whatever it is maybe. China, as you say rightly, that which is difficult to, find out as far as these figures are concerned. We have to, in fact, I will request Mr. Waglu and other panelists that on the basis of this French AI's Action Summit, AI Action Summit, keeping that in mind, keeping that in background, we should have a detailed discussion because India was there, no doubt. But as they were telling that, I don't know where we find ourselves when they are talking about this thing. So that is one thing. Secondly, sir, as I have done more than 50 or 60 webinars on education point of view, and I have been talking to students. Even today, I had a class in Jamia, and when we were telling about AI, one student very cleverly asked me, "Sir," because I was just telling about the China also. He said, "Sir, why you put China at the top or above the America and all that?" Then of course I had to tell him, "Bhai, it is not the question of who is at the top, but there is no doubt about it that at the first two positions are held by America and China. It is there is absolutely no doubt about it. And the differences which have cropped up uh, because after going through the all the lectures two times because I wanted to understand actually, I we found that there is a lot of differences and still there more meetings are required, and that's why we were told that second AI Action Summit will be held in Delhi. So I think before that, at least this panel, there are very prominent people are there. We can have few webinars, few seminars, and discuss all these things. How to put India in the race at least. I will not say that you have to win, but in the race at least. And then, uh, as the Ji was telling that in 17, there was a big, I also saw that thing in detail, and we have drafted a very beautiful blueprint and all that, but nothing has happened. We are still far, far behind when we compare the America and China. So that was one aspect. I think all of us are aware about what happened in France, but we need more discussion on that. I am very clear about it. Secondly, sir, I would like to comment because Dr. Vikram Singh, he is a very, very knowledgeable person. I have heard him. In fact, I never miss him whenever I find him on the TV. He speaks so well. No, he mentioned about the Kumbh. No, sir, as a layman in AI, I will say, I will not call myself as an expert and all that, but as a layman in AI field, what I understand that whenever we develop any model, whether it is ML model, DL model, or whatever it is, sir, we may try to make test because no model can be perfect in one go or in the perfect. We have to test this model by feeding more and more and more data. Now, my concern, first of all, I was not aware that AI has been used in Kumbh. But what I understand from Mr. Waglu and Dr. Vikram Singh, that if AI was used if I am saying, if AI was used in Kumbh, I don't know how many times these trials and perfectness was tested. Because if that was the case on that, so many people died, at least we should have got the advanced, information. That is the purpose of AI. So AI should have given us well in advance the warning that this thing is going to happen. That means our model was not tested. I mean, as far as I concerned. Third point, sir, I want to come as Mr. Waglu has said that since I am teaching, my worry is about our young generation, young students. Now, AI is there, but last 2 3 years when I am teaching, I am really very sad. I think we have to change our education system of teaching because in last 2 years back when I gave some assignment, within 3 4 days I found that everybody has done, and then afterwards when I did research, they all agreed that most of them, or rather 90% of them, had used chat gpt and prepare. Now when we are talking about ethical, when we are talking about the sincereness, I think education is one field where we have to give serious concern that how the education, particularly with AI, how the students should be imparted, how they should be made. Baba, this is the system. But if you expect that, no, we just tell them to be honest and all that, sir, actually that will not help. Because we have to change the system. We have to tell them, look, I think long time back, there was a system of open book system. When we had given them that there should be open book and all that. Education, I find it's very dangerous. Right now, when AI is there with the normal education, we find there is lot of loopholes. And this, sir, I am telling you with my experience of teaching in Jamia, in DU, and in many other organizations. What
Yeah.
to do, I don't know. I am changing my own system. In fact, today only, I have given to all the students this link of all these four people, Prime Minister and all that. I said, now you as a journalist, I want to prepare you as an assignment about this reporting of France, work, and then give me. I will consider that as an assignment. Anyway, since the time is short,
Yeah.
we will take it more and more when
Great.
discussions are there.
Yeah.
But here I would like to stop, and we will discuss more when time permits.
Thank you, Shri R.K. Singh. I fully agree with you that the education system has to undergo a lot of transformation. There's no doubt about it. Now, in this second round, I'll come back to Dr. Vikram Singh. There has been a lot of talk about Kumbh again, and based on all the experiences that we have had, what do you suggest should be the future? Of course, one, Sri R.K. Singh has pointed out that there should be a proper training of the models effectively. What other suggestions from the security perspective would you like to share with us?
Thank you very much, Mr. Waklu. Words of profound wisdom from Professor R.K. Singh Sahab. And I fully agree that the basic precept of use of any technology or any weapon is repetition, internalization, and habit. It is no point in having this automatic futuristic weapon, and I don't even know the rudiments of that weapon, of the technology. And when the crisis arrives, I say, ye kya jagah hai doston? A word to the wise is enough. Unless I'm fully familiar with the technology or the instrument or the gadget, and I am fully familiar to the extent that even in a half asleep sleep, I'm able to operate it, use it, and also predict what I need to do, then I'm afraid the proper training will have to be there. Everything has to be in position so that I'm never caught on the wrong foot. You have multiple technologies, facial recognition software, AI enabled, excellent. Drone technology with the use of predictive policing, excellent results. Therefore, I would say we came out with flying colors in almost every aspect, but for the fact that we were not able to have a contingency plan in position where we had a stampede. No point in acknowledging the fact and living in a spirit of bravado. Because if we live in a bravado, we'll never learn and we'll replicate the mistake once again, yet again, with horrific consequences. Therefore, we need to have a case study. What was the best possible option, and how to mitigate that a certain situation arises and we are able to overcome. And these two situations, the fake news that of Egypt being doubled up as Kumbh fires, Pushpa 2 being doubled up as Kumbh fires, those fake news could have been easily identified by AI tools, and given the fact now cases have been registered. Now the AI tools would say that the three fake news, one of Egypt fire being doubled up as Kumbh fires, the Pushpa 2 and the dummy fires being dubbed as Kumbh fire accidents, they need to be investigated thoroughly. Then the process of rumor mongering. Therefore, Kumbh itself has so many lessons that we can learn, incorporate, and improve upon, so that we give a befitting reply to all the social elements and the criminal elements in times to come. Let there be a white paper and a study so that we have the lessons drawn and improve upon whatever we have done till now. I would say we have done an excellent account ourselves. When I did the Kumbh, as Mr. Devdanji has said, the horseback, the watchtower, the binocular, and the World War II vintage weaponry, that was all that we had. But the robust common intelligence doubled up with experience, that of course saved the day. But now we have so much at hand: artificial intelligence, robotics, machine learning, and futuristic technologies. I think they are game changers and things will only improve. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Vikram Singh. Now, I come back to Professor Bijon Mishra. Actually, as has been pointed out, there is a big challenge because of the fake news and other videos doing the round, which mislead consumers, which mislead public in large. So I think there is a task cut out for your organization to sort of combat this. What could be the possible solutions you have in mind?
Yeah, there's some disturbance from the background. Can you just mute
Yeah.
people who are not? Yeah.
Okay, I'll request everybody else to mute their
Yeah, thank you.
mics
Thank
so that
you.
there is no disturbance.
Thank you, Vimalji. Very nice, very appropriate question you've asked. You see, what I always believe is that if you don't engage the end users while you are developing policies, your policy will never be 360 degrees. And unfortunately, in our country, the citizens who actually pay for such services, for such technology, for such development, for such science to come in, as we all know that there is a element of clinical trial which needs to be done before any product or service comes into commercial use. So safety is paramount. You cannot compromise with safety. And when I speak about how consumer organizations are reacting to such technology or reacting to policies or national policies which are being framed, we always want to make sure that we don't miss out on the lower end of the pyramid, the bottom of the pyramid, the people who actually have no say, no voice, how we can bring them. And the only way we can bring them is such consultations, which people like you all do, where we are able to bring in an evidence that where is the missing link. I again go back to Professor sorry, I couldn't get your first name.
Avinash Dadich.
Avinash, Professor Avinash. Professor Avinash, you see, I only want to tell you that even if we get $1, we have to understand that how we can use it well and use it to that extent that we get a suitable return on that investment. Unfortunately, we as citizens, we don't question in terms of our taxpayers' money or consumers' money being wasted and plundered in terms of its misuse. So when we talk about regulation, we talk about an oversight. We don't talk about scuffling creativity. We don't talk about, not encouraging in terms of creativity and innovation. When we talk about oversight of regulatory bodies, what we talk about is how do we ensure, and the only way to ensure is engagement. We have to engage. Academics has to engage with industry, industry has to engage with academics, and academics has to engage with the civil society has to engage with the industry. There has to be a complete stakeholder consultations when we have these kind of initiatives to come in. And I again still remember, when we were signing the first health treaty in WHO, which was on FCTC, on tobacco control, how America was trying to bulldoze us in not signing that treaty. They walked out. But India took a leadership. We were the first one to talk in favor of public health. And then slowly the whole world came in, including US. And today it's a remarkable achievement that the whole world is talking about anti-tobacco and its policies. So my contention is, if somebody walks out, it doesn't mean that we have lost the battle. It means that we have challenges, we have to face them. And we have to face them by engaging public, civil society engagement. And I clearly remember when these negotiations were going on in Geneva, how, Sushma Swaraj came forward and shook hands with the civil society people in Geneva, congratulating them because they played a pivotal role in convincing the world to sign that first health treaty, to happen within the WHO framework. So friends, don't get disappointed. Countries will walk out, complete countries will not sign, doesn't matter. But India should be seen taking the leadership, which we are taking. And I'm sure we will have regulation, we will have ethics, and we will teach the world how India can move forward like we are doing in terms of engaging ourselves now with our traditional healthcare and going in an integrative manner to ensure that healthcare is made affordable and accessible to the whole world. So we are working towards that, and I'm sure technology will help us, AI will help us, a lot of instruments will help us, and tools will help us to grow. So friends, don't give up. Even that 1,000 crore is good enough to start, and many trillions will come to India, where India will gain, and Indians will gain, and we will gain out of those investments which are happening around the world. So let's be very positive and move forward. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. On that positive note, we move forward. And here I'll request Professor Avinash Dadich. I hope now my pronunciation is close to what it should be. Yeah. Particularly, there are also the legal aspects I would request you to enlighten us on.
I think from the legal aspect, it's very clear that we are in a situation where, first of all, we are not going to have any centralized AI regulation in India. If you ask me the future of AI regulation in India, so I can tell you how it's going to evolve, because the government has already issued a document and they have shown their mindset or the approach. So it will not be like a centralized regulator like the SEBI, RBI, CCI, or any type of thing. So there will be no AI centralized AI regulator in India. That's a point number one. Second, there will be no independent regulator. So the government wants that there will be one expert committee or the coordinating committee or the AI secretariat within the ministry, and that AI secretariat will coordinate with all the regulators and with all the ministries. Okay, and whatever they are going to do, that will go through the AI secretariat within the ministry. Okay, so the one thing is very clear, that government doesn't want an independent AI regulators, which we did for other sectors like this SEBI, RBI, CCI, IRDA. There are more than 100 regulators in India. Okay, the EU approach is very different. They set up one AI regulator at the EU level. Okay, so normally, historically, we used to follow the EU approach, that to counter a particular sector, we created different regulators. Okay, that was the historical approach. Now the government has understood that this is very dangerous, because once the independent regulator comes, that independent regulators can really create problems in the innovation. Okay, and we should not forget the one of the most beneficial as well as the problem creator to implement AI technology is the government. So when you talk about face recognition technology, it's amazing technology. I think you all know that last month the Kerala police caught an accused after 20 years. That accused killed someone 20 years before, and he was moving around in the country, and Kerala police captured some of the photos on the social media. They used the facial recognition technology, and after 20 years, based on a very old photo, they were able to find that accused. So there is no doubt that the facial recognition technology is an amazing tool for law and order, but at the same time, it can create a problem of mass surveillance. It can create a situation of where the government is so powerful. A government is knowing and listening and understanding everything about the humans and citizens life, and eventually that may lead to less democracy or less autonomy of the voices. So I think India is having a very tough time right now, which we are trying to make a balance between the EU, US, or Chinese approach. It's a wait and watch situation. I don't know how it will evolve, but currently we are not taking any concrete decisions. I think that's one thing which we can learn today in February 2025, that India is in wait and watch situation. We are understanding what China, US, and EU is doing, and we will maybe show our cards in coming 6 months or 1 year.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. That's been right. That's the right approach, as you pointed out. Now, I'll come back to Sri R.K. Singh. My request is, Singh Saab, you pointed out that education needs a major change. Now, right now, since we have limited time for discussion, I'll request you to give us a document, a paper on this, so that we take up with the authorities. What are your views on that?
Yeah, thank you, sir. In fact, when I was listening all people and we have to march ahead. Now,
Yeah.
what should we do? We should start from the base. And student, young people, whether it is college level or university level or even the primary school level, we have to educate them with AI because you cannot avoid that. You know, it is a must now. So that is one thing. But then how to impart education? I'm talking about AI point of view. We have to take some examples. And I think Dr. Vikram Singh has given a very good concept. In fact, we would like to go into more into the Kumbh, sir. First of
Yeah,
all, what
no,
was the white paper? What was the things? In fact, I myself, I am very much keen that.
actually, Singh Saab, actually, since we have limited time, otherwise
Yeah,
we could go for another round of discussion. Maybe we'll have another webinar
yeah.
on
Okay,
Kumbh
sir.
Mela
Okay.
itself.
So from education point of view, if you want, I'm trying, we can give a paper, we can write something, and we can have more discussion only on from this education point of view.
Correct.
Eh?
Thank you.
And
Thank you very much.
We have Mr. B.K. Malhotra with us. So he will be giving us concluding remarks.
Acha, before that, would Mr. Maheshwari and yourself would like to add a few more things?
No, I think Mr. B.K. Malhotra is with us.
Acha.
Myself, B.K.
So I think
Malhotra,
we'll have a
we are
quick
sitting
round
together.
of question answers, and then Mr. Malhotra will conclude. I think that'll be better. Any questions from the audience, please? If there are no questions, then of course we'll go for the remarks by Sri Malhotra. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Vakuji. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're perfectly audible. Please.
Thank you very much. In fact, myself, Mr. Devdutt, and
Please, Devdutt ji, please mute your mic because there is some echo. Yeah.
in fact, we came out for a meeting and we are together after the meeting, and we had a very fruitful discussion today. And thanks to you, Mr. Vakuji, and all the panelists who have given their views on the matter, because this is such a topic which we can go on discussing for a long time. The fact remains that so far as technological advancements are concerned, we cannot stop it. And we have to update ourselves with the technological advances which are taking place in the world now. Unless we do that, probably we will be left behind. Fortunately, in India, I think we have the experts who can contribute a lot so far as the development of particularly artificial intelligence is concerned. But at the same time, a word of caution, which has been said by the other participants also. The problem is we do not know the anti-effects or the ill effects of the artificial intelligence, and we have not been able to create any legal framework to see that the artificial intelligence is not misused. Until we are able to do that, I think we have to keep our finger crossed and see that how best the artificial intelligence can be used for the development of the society and for the good of the society. It can be in the health sector, it can be in the service sector, it can be in the legal sector. Based on my personal experience, I can share with you when Justice Ramana was the Chief Justice, it was decided that using artificial intelligence, let us see if the criminal appeals in the high courts, more particularly Delhi and Bombay High Court, can be decided through artificial intelligence. The project is now 5 years old, but still we have not been able to get any result out of this. So I'm just putting a question mark. At the same time, I'm confident that artificial intelligence will definitely make life easier in many sectors. But there are certain areas which are a matter of concern, and we have to move very cautiously in that direction, that we have a sufficient legal framework to ensure that those who are using the artificial intelligence for illegal means, unlawful means, they are properly checked, booked, and the final decision is taken as expeditiously as possible. With these remarks, I thank all the panelists for giving wonderful view and thought-provoking ideas which they have given. Probably we will have to have another webinar or seminar on this issue so that we can examine threadbare and give overviews to the concerned authorities for proper implementation. Thank you very much. Thank you, Wakluji, for coordinating it. And I thank all the participants for due attention which they are given to this webinar. And once again, with thanks to all the experts who have given their view, I close my remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Malhotra. As you rightly pointed out, maybe we need to have another webinar on this subject. Maybe today the time wasn't sufficient. And with that, I would like to thank all the panelists of today, Professor Avinash Dadiyech, sorry if I have pronounced it wrong, Dr. Vikram Singh, Professor Bijon Mishra, Sri R.K. Singh, and of course, I would also like to thank Sri Devdutt and Sri Rakesh Maheshwari. With that, we close today's webinar. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Before we close,
You can have a picture.
anyway, if it's possible for people to move on to the video so that we have a sort of photograph, if it's possible. R.K. Singh साहब आपका नहीं आ रहा
मेरा video is now today. I need AI.
Okay. So
It is going, coming,
okay,
going,
let's do
coming.
it like this, and we'll next time maybe. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody, and
Thank you.
Thank you. So.